This is Sean Morsey with Chicagoland Realty Group Partners, coming to you live from downtown Aurora. And
I'm Glenn Marino with First Centennial Mortgage in this beautiful downtown Aurora area. And we're here today with your
Tip of the Week. So today we are going to have video 2 of 3 that basically discusses the 3 buckets of cash that are involved in any real estate transaction. So last time we covered down payment, and you can visit the last video off our website to find that. Today what we're going to talk about is closing costs and how closing costs can influence a transaction and ultimately assist you as the buyer along the way. So Glenn, go ahead and take it away.
Sean, it's a bucket that most people don't really realize they've got options. You know, the people come to you, and they say, well, I'd really love to stop renting. I'd love to become a homeowner, but I just don't have the closing costs. And so what we're trying to do today for our viewers is to express to them the options that are available to them when they're considering purchasing a home. And there's 3 options. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out our little whiteboard here that Sean and I have prepared.
Yep. And
we've got 3 options for you here. If you're assuming here that there's a purchase price of about $207,250, and if you're going to be using, let's say, FHA financing, you're going to need about 96.5% financing on that $207,000 purchase.
Or a 3.5% down payment. Yep.
You're going to end up with about a $200,000 loan. Well, the typical closing costs are going to be about $3,500, and one of the options is you, the borrower, you can pay the $3,500. Your loan amount of $200,000, if the interest rate was, say, 4%, your monthly payment with principal and interest is going to be $954 a month that the lender is going to bill you. Great. Option number 1, you, the borrower, can pay. But let's say that the customer comes to you or me, Sean, and says, you know what? That's a deal breaker. I've got money, per that first video. I either can pay the down payment myself, or I've got down payment assistance, but I really need help and assistance on closing costs. And so here, option number 2 is that the seller can actually pay the closing costs. And this is where Sean, as a real estate professional, can really help you. If he feels that you're buying a home that's not at the top of the market, and because Sean, as the real estate professional, he's the one that's inking the contract, putting in the terms, and before he actually goes back to, say, a seller and gives the actual contract, if the parties have already agreed up front that, say, it's a $207,250 purchase price, he can call up the other side and say, well, my client today has decided not to pay $207,250. The other side moans a little bit, says, what are you talking about? We just agreed on $207,250. And Sean surprises him with the fact that, well, yep, my buyer wants to pay more. My buyer wants to pay $3,500 more, or increase the purchase price to $210,750.
So in essence, the seller is rolling those closing costs into the note, and the buyer's financing it out, in this case, over 30 years, but saving all that money up front.
Exactly. And when the seller goes back to their spouse, to their attorney, to their CPA, and says, well, wait a minute, I wanted to net $207,250. I'm now being offered $210,750, minus they want me to pay $3,500 in closing costs. All of a sudden, the seller and their representative say, well, we're back to $207,250. We're where we wanted to be. In 99 out of 100 cases, you're going to get the seller then to agree to that, unless they feel that the property will not appraise at the $210,750. So let's make the wild assumption that the seller is happy, the buyer is very happy because they're not coming out of pocket $3,500. The purchase price goes to $210,750. The seller pays the $3,500 in closing costs at the closing.
Okay.
The loan amount goes up to 96.5%, not of 207, but of the 210. So their loan amount now is 203,374. Same 4% interest rate. The payment goes from $954 to $971. So we're talking something like
$17 a month.
So to our buyer, they go, I can afford the $17 a month. I can't afford the $3,500 at this time. Lastly, let's say that Sean advises the client, you know what? There's no way that this is going to appraise out at $210,750. We're buying at the high end. We can't use that option. You have a third option, the lender.
Yep.
The lender can pay the closing costs. What we're going to do here is we're going to keep your loan amount at the 207. The purchase price is still 207,250. We're going to use 96.5% as the financing, only 3.5% down. You're going to finance $200,000. But if you agree to pay to the lender a premium interest rate from 4% to 4.375, the lender will give you back a credit toward closing costs, pretty close to that $3,500. So once again, you're going to be out of pocket $0, and now your payment is going up to $999 a month. So from $954 to $999, what are we talking about? $45 a month. So again, if that was what kept our client from moving forward on purchasing their dream home, and we knew that the seller shouldn't because we can't get the appraisal to go higher, we're going to move them over here to the lender and say, is $45 a month okay? Is it within your budget? Are you happy with that? Let's move forward, because we now have a way to help you not only with down payment, but we now have a way to help you pay your closing costs.
Yeah, and I think Glenn did a great job of explaining that, but there's a lot of detail here. So just to recap, there's 3 ways to cover your closing costs in these examples. First is that it comes out of your pocket as the buyer. The second way is to have the seller roll those closing costs into the purchase price of the home, so long as the appraisal price is right, and ultimately you're financing it out over that 30-year period. Or way number 3, worst case scenario, you have the lender cover the closing costs and you have a little bump in your interest rate. Regardless, it all comes down to how comfortable you are with your monthly payments versus cash out of pocket. So regardless, I mean, all too often we have first-time home buyers approach us and say, hey, Sean, I don't have enough money to buy. And it's just the way you look at it. There's more than one way to skin that cat.
So this is our second video. The next video is going to be about escrows and prepaid interest, who pays for that.
Yep.
I think that's going to be very helpful. But again, Sean, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they get a hold of you to discuss this strategy?
Well, I'll tell you what, you could just call my cell phone directly. It's going to be 630-881-7082. And by the way, I mean, if you think of anybody this video might be helpful for, feel free to share this on Facebook, share it wherever you need to. Because, yeah, the idea behind these videos is to educate the public better.
And if somebody is looking to talk to me, the lender at First Centennial, about any of these strategies, you can reach me at 630-983-3604.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you being here today. And Sean, we'll be back here in another couple weeks with another
Tip of the week. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.